What's up, y'all? Welcome back to Blunt Talk Podcast with your host, Riah, aka Riah the Barbie. And you can follow me at Riah Beauty and Fitness on Instagram. And make sure you check out all the new content there when it comes to beauty, lifestyle, everything. We on to a whole new season. Today, our guest is someone I am honored to have here today. I have been a supporter of hers for quite a while. I heard about her through a best friend of mine, and I've been hooked on her ever since. Not only is she the CEO of Rebirth the Label, a dope loungewear brand, but she is also an author, a mother, and a pillar of our community. She does all that she can to uplift her people, whether that be with motivational posts on her social media or hosting a holiday drive to ensure that children of our community are not only taken care of, but loved this holiday season. Please give us a round of applause for Ra, aka Mel.
Thank you. I'm happy to be here. I appreciate that introduction. I don't think nobody has introduced me like that. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. I'm happy to be here.
No problem. I literally have been watching you for a while now. Like I said, my best friend introduced me to your content.
Yes.
And ever since then, I was like, she's so motivational. Something about her is so relatable. And I feel like it registers with a lot of people. And we kind of see who you are through your content, and I love that. So continue doing what you're doing, and make sure you guys go tune into her content. I'll put her Facebook and all that linked down below. Before we get to the topic, I really want to let the guests get to know you and really see your perspective on things in life, and we'll go from there. So for anyone meeting you for the first time, how do you usually introduce yourself?
I am a mom, I'm a CEO, I'm a fashion designer, I'm an author, I'm a school professional. My name is Mel. Many people know me as Ra. Majority of people that really grew up with me, they call me Mel. That's just me. I'm a pillar in my community. I did not know people felt like that about me. I really appreciate that recognition. I just try to pour into people in the community as much as I can. But when we talk later on in that, I really never had a mentor growing up. Mm-hmm. So for me and myself, I just feel like that's what I try to be. I try to be like a walking testimony for young girls like myself. So, that's what I try to do.
Definitely need it in our community. Definitely need some positive role models. We have plenty of negative ones. We do not need any more. We need, some people on a different path and not afraid to look different than everybody else, I want to know this because I know that you're a busy woman. You have a lot going on, and I see it on your social media, and I be like, how does she handle all this? So what does a normal day look like for you right now?
On the weekends, technically that is my most free time. So on the weekends, I try to get like my interviews in. I try to do like networking events. I have been trying to dedicate like one day out of the weekend, but it's only two. They only give us two. To just my kids,
real, right?
My family and myself. But it's so hard to do that. But on a weekday, like on an average, Monday, I'm a school professional. I am a mom. So like I get up, I go to the gym. So I try to do the gym 3 days out of the week. After the gym, like I get my daughter ready for school. I try to have like at least 15 or 20 minutes like to myself to like, unwind, like, spend some time like with God and things like that. I have a 14-year-old, so I make sure he gets on the bus. But from 8:30 to 3:30, I'm Miss Hardy. So I'm in the school professionals. I'm a school professional, so I'm in a school environment. So at that time, I'm just, working. If I have business activities going on while I'm at work, I try not to intertwine both, but it's so hard. Like your Instagram goes off, your Facebook, your TikTok, my emails. I live in my laptop. That's what my grandmother say to me. I got 2 laptops. I live in my laptop. I love it. I love my email. But after work, I probably have like 2.5 hours to myself. My kids get out of their after school program at like 6 o'clock. But after that, just momming, trying to unwind for the day. I'm probably squeezing in content, probably batching emails for the next 2 days, so I'm not staying up all night or squeezing in emails while I'm at work. Just really trying to find a balance, really, because it is a lot, running the business, being a mom. I don't have a team, so I do everything by myself. I'm my assistant. I'm my brand strategist. Like I pack all my orders. Like I print out my thank you cards. Like, like I do all my content. Like I got ring lights and stuff. Like I set up my tripods. Like it do take me like 3 or 4 takes. Like this content thing, like
it's not easy.
I commend like 24/7 content strategy. I cannot do it. It makes me go crazy. I don't really like to batch content, but I'm finding that it is very resourceful.
It's so much easier.
Yes, it's so much easier to just have things batched and like already planned out and things like that.
Unless you don't have a full-time job, it's almost impossible to like get up and shoot every day, because every day you're not gonna have the time.
And sometimes you may not want to do it,
or the energy. The energy or the time. So you have to pick like a day, like, hey, I'm gonna have the energy, I'm gonna have the time, and I'm gonna put all my effort into doing my content, get at least 5 videos or
Yeah.
10 videos, whatever. Like, give yourself a goal and go with that. But
Definitely.
yeah, you're right. You're definitely right.
Yeah.
It's hard work, and I give you kudos as a mom
Thank
for even
you.
handling all that, because that is a lot to do. For like me, just handling my podcast and working full time is a lot. So I couldn't imagine being a mom and like you do that like it's nothing. So
Thank you.
You make
so
it
much.
look so easy. So I really kudos to you.
Honey, I'm burning on my knees over
Yeah.
here. Okay?
She
You
like,
know,
dang.
like I just sweating,
Dang.
things like that. But no, seriously, listen, I tell everybody, if I can, because I was a teen mom for people that do not know me. I had my son when I was 15. Not ashamed of it. I overcame everything. Ideally, I was a statistic, but that is okay. If you can't wait, I tell people all the time, wait, you don't really miss out on anything. There's not really no rule book or no handbook to being a mom.
Let's talk about it.
Everybody has their own journey. Like, I had to learn things. Like, honestly, like, my daughter is 9, my son 14. I raised him totally different than I raised my daughter because I was younger at the time. Like, I wasn't seasoned. Yeah, like, exactly. I didn't have the tools. Like, some of the resources that were around before, like, they weren't around. But ultimately, like, when I look back, I know, like, they are my why, because it does get hectic, like, mentally. And I feel like it's just so much fluff and, like, everything is so animated, like, being a business owner, especially in certain industries, like with content, because everything has to be like perfect to the T. Like, I'm not perfect. Like, sometimes I'm all over the place. Excuse me when I say this. So, like, my pastor be saying, like, sometimes I'm busting out the seams.
Yeah,
like,
literally,
I am like literally busting out the seams.
No, for real.
No, but he used that in a metaphorical term. He was like, when you feel like you're running out of your seam or you busting out your seam, then that mean like you don't have, like, you ain't putting your faith like fully in God, like, or you're not trusting like your plan or like what you prayed for or asking for. So sometimes I have to sit and I got to stay still and I'm like, okay, like, this is a lot, but like, this is what I prayed for ultimately. Like, like I'm living in my prayer right now, sitting here with you.
Oh, thank you.
Honestly, like, like I tell people all the time, I probably would have never imagined when I was 15, 16, running a business or like being a fashion designer or getting into all this stuff, because a lot of people had their own like opinions or things to say about me because I was a teen mom, and some of it made me very shy to like put myself in front of certain things, because some people know me from growing up, some people know me from like business, some people know me just meeting me in my career or like going to college, and things like that, or just bumping elbows with people networking. But like, like I feel like I have to give people like the authenticity, like, like be super transparent about like everything, because like, everything is not like, this is not easy, like,
it really isn't.
And it's okay, for us to be like, it's like, it's not okay. It's not, like sometimes as business owners, we don't want to get up and do all of this, like to set all of this up, like, and make everything look good. Like, it's a lot to come here and just be like, okay, like I'm going to get ready to sit here and I'm going to do this. So, like,
especially when you don't get that instant gratification that you do with any other type of work. Yeah. And I feel like that's why you have to have a passion, you have to have a purpose, you have to have a dream, and you have to really you have to be delusional about your dream. Yes. Because if not, then you will give up, you will burn out, and you have to just put faith into you and what you're bringing to the table. So just don't give up. You're doing amazing. You're doing amazing. If nobody sees you, I see you. And I know the people around me, we be watching you. So I know that you're seen for sure.
Thank you so much.
So I wanted to get into the next question, which I know you touched on this a little bit on your social media. If you guys need to tune into her social media, because she be putting it out there, yo. What season of life are you currently in, and how does it make you feel?
Right now I am in the simplest way I could say it, I am in a season of just clarity. I feel like in my life I lived in a lot of chaos. Some chaos that I put on myself. Sometimes I didn't even know I was in chaos because I was in so much of it. I did not know what peace is. I mean, I'll be so honest. Like, one of my best friends, she's sitting on the couch with me. I tell her all the time, girl, sometimes I don't even know like when I'm at peace, because I'm not used to everything being so quiet and calm, like,
thriving through it
and things like that. But I'm just surviving and running through it. But like right now, I'm getting ready to turn 30 in a couple of weeks. I said to myself, I am trying to really live in a space where like I'm being honest with myself. Like, I'm not living in a space of confusion, like I want everything to be like, straightforward. Like, I want to know like what's right in front of me, like tell me what it is, like with everything, business, career, friendships, so I can know like if that's something I want to deal with. I agree. For myself, because I'm a water sign and I'm an empathist.
Same.
I'm an empathist. I can feel you.
We're empaths. Yes. Sorry.
Sorry.
We care.
Listen,
sorry.
Yes, I do. I'm sorry.
We're human.
Unfortunately, sometimes I care too much. And I think for me, I had to identify that because I was hurting myself.
For sure.
In a lot of things. Like even at work, like sometimes I go in there and I try to do everything because I love them kids
you're so
much.
considerate.
Yeah, like, and you know, but sometimes I'm like, hold on, girl, like slow down because like I'm running myself to the floor.
Exactly.
Or I'm like, what if XYZ happened to me? Like, would they really care? Like, and I'm not speaking bad about like the place that I work at because I love it. Like, and I'm grateful that God
But
gave
those
me,
are real questions that you have to ask
Definitely.
yourself. Why am I going to burn myself out for people that wouldn't do that for me? Or people that if I needed to right now, like if I had to take a leave of absence right now for my mental health, like who is going to support that? Like wholeheartedly, you know? Like
Definitely.
I feel like those are questions that are needed. We need to ask ourselves. We're too used to telling ourselves, you just have to make it through. You have to just work. You have to grind. But it's like, I don't want to grind. I want to thrive. And it's like, I don't want to sit there and be nail myself to the coffin every day. I want to be doing something that pours into me as well. And that's the thing that we lose. We lose that, and we try to chase our dreams so much we forget what we love about it.
And I think for me, just operating or trying to be operating in the space of like full clarity and like no confusion is because I noticed that's where I thrive best at in. Like even like right here where I'm at right now, like even though like I'm like nervous and stuff because like I do a lot of interviews. I even record myself to hear myself before I get on interviews because like, you know, like I try to practice and things even though, you know, practice makes perfect.
But those are
you know,
good
like
things to
being,
do,
like, you know, authentic, but like I feel good after I get up and I leave this. Like, you know, like I know this what makes me feel warm. Like it makes me feel good. Like, you know, but when I'm operating out of a lot of chaos and dysfunction, like I start missing interviews or like I start missing networking events or like I'm prioritizing something over like what is right in front of me. Like, and then I start trying to figure out like, why is this not working? Girl, because you everywhere you not need to be.
Everywhere but you not need to be.
Like, no. And for me, that's because I don't be having real clarity, and that's just because sometimes I try to get an understanding of like what's going on, and sometimes I had to really realize that I may never get that understanding from people or things, and I just have to let that go. And like you just said, just thrive at where I'm at right now.
That's big because so many times we chase people to understand us. Like we want so bad, and that's the thing that us empaths we have to learn to get over because we really want you to understand us. And that's what we have to learn to like get over. And that's something I learned to get over. Like, it's okay if some people don't understand you. Some people are not meant to be a part of your village, and that's okay. Like, everybody has connections for a reason. Everybody connects for a reason and for a purpose. So sometimes we're just not aligned, and that's okay. But it doesn't mean it has to be hate or evil you know, intentions there. It's just, I feel like, you know, some people can't handle that. Some people, you know,
but
you can't handle that. You cut them off, and now you an op. Like, girl, we're not even ops like that, babe. We not.
No. Honestly, you know what's crazy? Because you spoke about it in that sense. Like, I have people that I've grew up with that I don't speak to no more, and it's not like no bad blood.
Right, we just not aligned.
Like we're in different spaces. Like we're into two different things.
Instead of accepting you into my new life and trying to alter who you are, I'm gonna accept you for who you are. But you can't be in this room with me, and that's okay too.
Yeah, and that's kind of where I'm at because right now, like I can't try to get nobody to understand me right now or understand what I got going on. Because honestly, it kills me more. Like I get so unfocused. Like I stay out the gym. Like I'm excessively smoke. Like no, and I'm being so honest because I like to be transparent. Like I like to be raw and uncut.
That's
like,
real
honestly,
though.
Like that's just who I am. Like because again, like I feel like everything is just so animated. Everybody wants to be so perfect. Nobody want to tell their lows on social media.
Yeah.
But why not? Because you rather get up there and tell every win. But at the end of the day, every win comes with a L. It may not be a loss, but it's definitely a lesson. Like, you know,
for sure.
And at the end of the day, I always try to be super transparent because again, many people know me from growing up. Some people may not know me at all, and then some people just like they hear about me or they're third party people talking. Like, I like for people to really know, like, you know, and some things I was ashamed about, and some things I'm like, you know, like at the end of the day, like I grew through that. Okay, like literally, I'm not that 15-year-old girl no more. Like I'm not even that 20-year-old girl no more.
You can't shame me for my past no more. You can't shame me from something I've already looked inward and come face to face with, comes to terms with. And that's why it's important for you to heal, because when you don't heal and you put on the facade, like if you heal and you just try to move past it and stuff it in the box, it's always going to come out, because there's always going to be people that only see the old you, and they're going to pull that out of you because it's still there. But when it's not there anymore, you can't trigger me. It's
Yeah.
not there anymore. It's gone, and that's you projecting whatever you can't grow from onto me. That's not me. You know.
You are right.
So I really
Definitely.
agree with everything you just.
Definitely.
Girl. What inspired the name Rebirth the Label, and what does rebirth mean to you personally?
Wow, you know what? Since I've started that, since I renamed the brand, you are probably the first person that have asked me that, in a sense, because I have did a radio interview, and probably because the first time I did a radio interview and I was up there, and you know, rebellious bit. So on the radio, you can't really cuss. So
Right.
I'm trying my hardest not to say it, but again, I'm trying to be authentic. Like, you know, I'm not ashamed of like what I bring.
What I'm
because
saying,
at the end of the day, ultimately it's stuff for beautiful, inspiring, tasteful,
Exactly.
creative, and honorable, you know? And they had an acronym behind it. But yeah, Rebirth came from one day, I just felt like I needed a real reset with the business. Everything was going right, but I really wasn't making like what I wanted. And it wasn't even, not even money wise, like probably just like certain audiences or impacts and things like that. But the only complaint I would get was the curse word. So I'm saying to myself, like, okay, like it's not the quality, like it's not my marketing and things like that. All right, like, so I really have to let this go. As much as this is my baby and I know what it means to me, other people may not understand. And I'm like, I have these crazy,
the message is not being received.
right. The message is not being received in the right way. I should say. Thank you.
I agree.
I had like different audiences. So like people probably 40 plus, like my aunts or like people I go to church with and things like that. Before I even switched it to Rebirth, they're asking me about like, you know, my business and what I got going on, and like, hey, can I get some merch? But like certain things they wouldn't wear because it had bitch in it. I want to say 2023. I want to say it was like the end of like summer. I took like 6 months off. Stopped producing everything with RBC.
Wow.
I just started resketching again, but I was sitting in my bed and I'm like, okay, like I need to figure out, like I'm not letting this go. Like I know this is for me, but I'm like, I got to figure out how can I do this but not take away from who I am and what's like really about like the message behind my brand. And my aunt, in all honesty, my great aunt, my Auntie Ann, she's all the way in Texas. She calls me all the time.
Shout out to you, Auntie.
Yes. I'm going to show her this interview. She calls me all the time, and she said she had a vision about me. And she was like, he want me to ask you, what do you want? How far do you want your business and your brand to go? And I told her, and she was like, you have to get rid of your business name. She was like, I'm not telling you to stop what you're doing right now. She was like, I love everything you're doing. She was like, I love it. She was like, you know, I'm going to support you regardless whether you change it or not. She was like, but he telling me, like, if you don't want it to sink like quicksand, like, I need you to change the name of your brand. I just automatically, I was driving and I was like, dang. And I just sat there for a minute and I was like, okay, like, I get what she's saying. And honestly, that wasn't the first time I heard it, but the way she gave it to me, I received it better. Because again, like, that's my aunt. I'm not going to take an opinion
you know
from...
she's not saying it with ill intent.
Yeah,
when you know someone genuinely loves you, you know it's
so
coming from love.
I'm being all honesty because I never told nobody this. Somebody told me my first brand was mediocre. You know, like the name. In all honesty, I never talked about this before. So
wow,
it made me feel some type of way. But I'm like, you never brought anything from me or nothing. So how could you even have an opinion on that? So
at that, say that.
Yeah, right. So at that time, I was
fucking hater.
Right.
That was fucking rude. Outside pissed me off.
Yeah. Try not to get like that.
That mediocre
right. And I'm like, wait a minute, like how is like nobody wouldn't even bring.
Period.
Thank you. Right. I'm like, who would even bring it? Yes.
She's such a Scorpio. That's me.
Sorry, guys, my friend is in the background.
No, period. She don't play. I like that.
All right. So my aunt, or whatever the case may be, after he made that comment or whatever, and then like I spoke to my aunt, I'm like, okay, like that's a negative opinion, but I'm like, okay, like outside of like radio interviews and stuff, because again, like it's hard to market, or like I can't put out ads with Rebirth. It's hard to like certain things because they're blocking it because profanity.
And it'll be hard to collab.
And things like
brands.
that.
Yeah.
I went to a networking event called Boss Camp. I was in a room with like some big like 6-figure women, 7-figure women, like black women, like, you know, women of color, like all like so diverse. Like love them. Like it was amazing. Like they like really like inspired me. I spoke to somebody that was an attorney, and I was telling her about my business and things, and she was like, do you market? And I was like, yeah. She was like, do you run ads? And I was like, I can't run some of them. She was like, it's because of the end of your business name. So after that, like I said, I took some months off or whatever, and then like I was like, what could I name it? And then one day I was just laying on my bed, honestly, and then I was like, I'm really just going through like a rebirth. And then I was like, wait a minute. And I was like, hold on, because I never wanted to let I never wanted to let go of the R because my middle name is Richey. Yeah. So I kind of like, I was just like, okay, like what can I, I was coming up with some cheesy things like, I'm be honest, I love being honest. For real,
not
like,
so cheesy. It was getting a little dark, girl.
That was calling. I had because I didn't want to let go of the rebellious thing neither, and that was something I had to deter from too. I was like rebels and hustlers or rebel clothing, things like that. But I'm like, wait a minute, no.
Rebels and hustlers.
I'm like, girl, this got to make sense because when you really start taking business classes and stuff, like your name really means
it do matter.
It gotta make sense. Like a tagline, like it has to flow. Like come
everything
on, you
has
can't
to
just
make
be
sense. Yeah.
Stamping stuff on clothes and think because like you got an audience. Well, that is what's happening right now, but that's another topic. But like but at the end of the day, I had to figure out like, okay, like what really makes sense. But then I was like Rebirth, but I was like Rebirth clothing. But I was like, nah. I was like, you know what? I was like, I'm gonna do something like because I am super inspired of how the way Rihanna runs Fenty. So I was like, okay, like let me do Rebirth by Riah. Then I'm going to do Rebirth the Label because that's Rebirth the Label. That's for clothing. And then I'm like, I get into my fitness bag. Like I'm doing Rebirth Fitness. And then like, a little bit of tea. Like my girl over here, like she does skincare. Like we're going to do Rebirth Skin. Like, like just things like that. Like, so I'm like, how can I make this like, like bigger than just like, one entity.
Yes.
And that's where it came from. But like Rebirth the Label, we inspire and uplift people to like, use their flaws to acknowledge like, their new beginnings. I feel like everybody can have a restart. Life is not perfect. I feel like we acknowledge like, your healing and like your flaws and like just using that to the best of your advantage. Like, I feel like everybody goes through multiple rebirths in their lives. Like, no person is the same in every decade of their life. So for me, that's what rebirth is. That's what Rebirth by Riah is.
That is powerful because I feel like you said, we all go through a rebirth and nobody really speaks about it. They don't want to speak on the uncomfortable parts, but those are the parts that make it so special. And that's just such a meaningful message. That's so good for you. And I'm happy that you got to experience being in a room with other powerful women that look like you. Because a lot of the times when we were kids, I didn't see a lot of women that looked like us. Like the most I've seen of a black woman that was in a successful position was like a principal. I hadn't really seen nobody do anything that was inspiring to me, and I feel like that I know that shifted your mindset a lot. Like, you know what, it's not about the name, it's about where I want to go. I feel like that helped you a lot.
I was sitting there and I'm like, okay, like dang, like I can have like all of this. Like I can do this every day.
But
like,
I'm
this
being
can
stubborn
be my day to day.
Name.
That's right. I'm being stubborn because that's what I am. I'm super stubborn because I remember the radio interview. Like they asked me that before, and they was like, "Would you ever change your business name?" And it's crazy. Shout out to B Davis because I know when you see this, he always talk about it. He asked me. He was like, "Would you ever change it?" Girl, I'm sitting in the chair. No. He was like, "So what you gonna do if men ask you for stuff?" I'm gonna figure it out. No, like I swear, no. It was always no. For a while. And again, after the first 2 years, that's what made me do the acronym. Somebody again, she's a very big inspirational person out here in Connecticut. Her name is Jennifer. Her business brand is called Big Business Jen. All things financial, business.
I think I have seen her.
She's like a serial entrepreneur. I love her. She's technically like somebody that I would consider like an unofficial mentor for me.
Period.
One day we were sitting down and she was like, "You got to put some meaning behind this because you got to put it in their face. You got to show them what it's about. Like, instead of just saying like, okay, well, like I'm bold enough to brand this. Like, no, she's like, you got to show them what it means. Like
what it means to you.
Yeah, what it means to me. So like they have an understanding and so they won't like disregard it just because it's so bold because it's profanity.
Exactly. And because it's so bold, you have to have a meaning that sticks with people because if not, it's just going to be like, oh, she's just trying to be extra. She thinks that's going to be her ticket. Like, no, we need to know what the hell this is. So I definitely hear that. And that was great advice, period. I know we touched on this a little bit about you being a mom and a CEO, but like, what's one thing that you feel like people don't see about you being a mom and a CEO? Like one aspect of it that you feel like is like under talked about?
Being a mom, definitely, I got to play good cop, bad cop. I'm a single mom. I'm not going to say my kids' fathers aren't around. They're just not present and not going to like disclose so much. But for me it's hard because sometimes I'm like, okay, like I have to make them happy and I have to disappoint them too. Like I gotta give and I gotta take. Like, you know, like, and I really have to put my foot down. And sometimes that's where that balance comes in at. Because sometimes if I'm drowning at home, I don't know how to get back up and like be that CEO sometimes. And I think people don't really see that or understand that because again, a lot of things is like social media, everything just has to be so perfect. You know, and people sometimes feel like you can't do both, but like you could have the career, like you could be a mom, like, you know, and you can be the CEO, but like it really takes a lot. And I feel like everybody, you have to find your own balance. And I think in the last 6 months, like that's what I've been doing. I'm just like prioritizing again, like what's really like important again, like especially like as a mom too, like and as the CEO, like, so that's why I said earlier, like trying to take like one day out of the week, like not doing no business at all. Like don't call me about nothing RTO or whatever, but it sounds unrealistic because I don't have an assistant. So
right. So
really
who are you gonna call?
Right. I can't really say that because then I'm leaving money on the table or business on the table. But sometimes all money, like sometimes I be like, all right, whatever. Like, you know, like some interviews like I don't show up for and I don't feel convicted or bad about it. Or like some things I'm like, oh my God, like I missed this opportunity. But I feel like if like, you know, like if God wants it for me, like it'll present itself again. And you know, so that's real. Know, I feel like that's what I think people don't really see because I feel like, again, like as a CEO, they feel like we can't really be like, we can't be vulnerable or we can't get on social media and be like, oh, like I'm having a bad week. Why? Like, why do y'all want people to think like they're going to be making money all day? Like, and I'm not saying some businesses aren't like that, but like there are highs and lows. So
and
like,
when you begin, like it don't, like, I feel like you said, it's an unrealistic expectation that gets put on social media. So then when you do start that business, you get so easily discouraged because you think, oh, that person blew up in a week, or that person whole time they was undercover grinding. But they didn't show that part because it wasn't aesthetically pleasing to their TikTok feed. But you know what I'm saying? Like the real people, they really gonna tell you what it is, and it's never gonna be easy. You probably gonna spend your first year losing money. Like I had last season, I had the guys from Learned Lost Apparel up here, and they spoke on how like they used to lose out on a lot of money, like shipping packages that not coming, getting lost, and like putting hundreds of dollars and getting lost. So you know it happens, but you have to stay with that vision and stay with your purpose and just keep going, because if not, you're just gonna fail. You have to have that thrive.
You gotta just block out a lot of the noise too, because social media will have you scrolling, feeling like you're missing out,
comparing,
or like comparing yourself. Like, oh my God, comparison is the thief of joy.
For sure.
Like I learned that even for myself. Like it's healthy comparisons too. Like, are you comparing? For sure. I learned this. I'm sorry to cut you off.
No,
I just learned this in the book, that Let Them book.
Yes.
By Mel Robbins.
I'm starting it.
Yes. Yeah. OMG. She was like, there's two types of comparison: torture and teacher. Are you teaching yourself or are you torturing yourself? And I learned that. Like, okay, because you can't really be mad at the card somebody else got dealt. Like, you know, because if it's working for them, it's working for them. But at the end of the day, you got to figure out how to make your cards work for yourself. And that's kind of where I'm at in my life too, because I'm just like, okay, like this is what I got right in front of me. Like, how are we making this work? Like, and if I am looking at somebody else's plate, I'm trying to learn from them, because again, there's so much influence out here, but I feel like there's a lot of low-key hate and competition too. And I feel like that's what, you know, that stops us from being united. And I feel like there needs to be more unity in the industry form, like as far as business, like, you know, like, because at the end of the day, Connecticut as a whole, like we can really win, but I feel like there's just so much competition. But you know, like that's another.
Girl, you sounding like me. That be me every freaking week on this damn couch. I'm serious,
because like
unity. We need unity. Because it's like, I say that all the time, like Connecticut is full with so much, and that's like one of the reasons why I started the podcast, is because I really wanted to show how much talent we do have here. So it's like, I don't just do artists, I don't just do clothing brands, I do all types of talent, because I want y'all to see that y'all have the talent here. Stop glorifying these other states like if we don't have it. And in other communities, when we have the talent here and we have the people here, we just are not, we're not taking the opportunity where we have.
That's like in Atlanta, like, because I'm trying to get to Atlanta this year. Like, they have like these big like black
girl, I'm going at the end of the month, let me know.
And things like that. And I'm just like, hold on real quick, like why don't we have that here? But that's because we
don't put it together.
Yeah, but I was just about to say that. No 2 or 3 people from different sides or whatever
are going to come together.
Nobody want to come together.
They're in competition.
Everybody just wants to be the top dog. I feel like instead everybody has to, like, you know, learn to play the role, you know? Because at the end of the day, in some situations, like, I don't want to want to be in charge. I don't want to delegate tasks. Like, I need somebody to be handling all of this, and somebody like saying, hey, Mel, you do this.
Yep.
I'm like, okay, I'll sit in the corner. I don't mind, because, you know, sometimes that's just how it works. I feel like a train, like, you know, everybody has their own, like, you know, and that's what makes it run. So at the end of the day, I feel like if that was more of that, instead of everybody like watching and trying to figure out like, well, why is this working out for them? Or like, what's going on with them? Like, I feel like it's too much, like, you know, just watching instead of us like, you know, coming together and trying to figure out how can we come together as a collective and win as like a state, like, you know?
I agree. I feel like you said, a lot of reason why they don't win is because they don't know how to play their roles. Like, when you look at movies, when you look at TV shows and things like that, they only are able to run because they have people that play their roles. Right. Production. You know, if everybody was in front of the camera acting, wouldn't have a show. You know what I'm saying? You need somebody behind the camera. Like, even now that I got my videographer, you know, he helped me out a lot, because it's like, just, I didn't even realize how much having somebody else behind the camera is also helpful. Yeah. Like, you know, like keeping you on point, making sure the camera don't stop, making sure the mics is not on. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just, if you don't have other little things to play the roles, it does hinder your growth. So I feel like that is important.
Definitely.
Which came for you first, fashion or writing? Like, did you know you were good at writing? Early on, or did you like fashion come
writing
first?
Was always my strong suit. I love school. I was a straight A kid in like elementary. I always had honor roll. Like, I love school. Probably until I started being like a rebellion. Like, in my teenage years, I will always still do my work, but like, you know, just being like a butthole there probably. But yeah, writing came.
She said I was smart, but I was bad.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I was smart, but I was hard-headed, for sure. I was smart, but I was very hard-headed. I always did the opposite. You know, I feel like it worked out great for me. But you know, writing came first. Writing always been my strong suit. Because I dealt with a lot of like, you know, domestic violence and things like that growing up. So like, that was a way for me to journal. And even in school, like, I would get like high grades on like, you know, like my writing essays and things like that. So I always been comfortable writing and like pouring into that as far as like using it as an outlet. So writing came first, then fashion. Fashion was something that I just lucked up upon, honestly. Like, I'm not gonna say now like it's not a passion, because now I love it. Like, now I like to learn more about it. Like, now I like want to explore, like, you know, because now I'm 6 years in. But as far as like starting out first, like, I never would have thought I would be sketching out bodies and sketching out bodies and stuff. But I had to learn how to do that, you know, like, because at the end of the day, growing up, that wasn't something that I seen. Like, I wasn't sitting down with nobody that was like a fashion designer. Like, ideally,
you didn't
growing
know the
up,
steps to do.
In my environment or like in my neighborhood, like the ideal average job for somebody would probably be like a CNA, or like you work at like a retail store or things like that. Or
I love how raw you is, because it's
listen,
just like, that's really our reality. It's really our reality. We are limited to what we think we can do.
We're limited to what we think we can do and what you conform to. And at the end of the day, I always said, and that's where rebellious bitch came from. Like, I'm a nonconformist. Like, I don't want to be like everybody. Like, okay, I know people don't want to be like me. That's perfectly fine, but I don't want to do the average, you know? Like, and I'm not saying that, and I'm not throwing shade to no profession, because at the end of the day, I commend anybody in the medical field, because I will never be in there, because that's something I know I cannot do. I knew growing up that was something that was never my strong suit, but I never thought I would have been like fashion designer. Have I ever wanted to be into like journalism and things like that? Oh yeah, of course. Like, I always like, I love watching the news. I thought I would be on like WFSB or something, like being in the news. I'm so serious, honey. Listen, because you know my voice, like,
you do have that voice. Like, I can definitely see you running a podcast or even a radio show. Matter of fact, I really could see you being a radio show host. Like, for sure, you should do that.
Yeah, I always tell B. Davis, if you want me to co-host, honey, I'm coming up. For sure. But yeah, like, fashion always came second. But like, now, like, I love it because I'm learning more about it. And like, it helps, like, you know, tell a little bit like of the little girl in me. Like, I'm doing stuff that I always probably wanted to do. Like, I'm making stuff that I probably couldn't buy before. Like, you know, things like that. Yeah, like, honestly, that's what it is for me. Like, so that's why being the fashion designer was tricky for me. Like, well, creative, because I had to stop making stuff for me. Like, honey, like, I'm crop top, small straight out, baby. I'm making this for me.
It's not all about you. It's not all about you.
honey, I'm making this for me. Because the little girl in me, I'm like, oh my God, like I always really wanted that. So let me get that. Like, you know, whatever the case may be, let me make that or whatever the case may be. But I had to learn, I'm like, okay, like honey, like you got to feed the audience. Like, you know, like supply and demand, like, you know. So like fashion came second, but like now I love it. Like now I'm exploring more into it. I think right now, because I'm about to be 30, and like I've been doing everything else, I think this is really gonna be my year for like in business, like fashion wise, like I'm really gonna like dig deep into it, like textiles and all of that. Like I won't go crazy with it because like I want to get my hands into more. Yeah. Because I feel like that's the only way you learn, and that's the only way like you expand in the industry too. Like, and I'm really trying to. You
can't be scared to try new things, and nowadays it's 2025. You can look up how to do anything.
Literally, like ChatGPT could tell you how to do.
You're in your own way, boo. You need to go figure it out. You do the research. Who was Melanie before all the titles, and who is she becoming now?
I'm gonna look dead in the camera.
This is black talk. This is black talk. You can say whatever.
Honey. Okay, Melanie before the 14-year-old girl probably running up and down Albany Avenue. I was chasing my son's father. I used to excessively smoke and to drink to like cope. Now, Melanie, I am more reserved. I'm trying to be more reserved. This Melanie is currently on a walk, like, and on a journey with God, like getting closer to Him. I always been into church. My family grew up in the church, but you know, you got to take your own path. But I've revisited on my own, so now that's where I'm at. This Melanie is trying not to overthink, because the old Melanie is an overthinker. The old Melanie used to claim anxiety. I do not claim her no more. I don't even know what she is. Because before I was calling, so I'm like, girl, that's my anxiety. Girl, that was not it. You was nervous. Girl, calm down.
Nope, like, you was alright. You was alright.
Period. Like, look at my
girl. You
my friend in the corner, like, I'm proud of you. Like, listen. But listen, this Melanie, honestly, I'm not a people pleaser. And I feel like growing up, I tried to please people because I really wasn't who probably like my mom thought I was going to be, or like I turned out to be like a teen mom, or like I missed certain marks, and then I always tried to make up for that. But I still felt like that. Honestly, it still wasn't enough. Right. Honestly, because sometimes I still feel unseen, or I still feel unheard. Yeah. Like I just said that coming into this year. I said so much last year, I don't have nothing to say this year.
Period.
I have
nothing to say. Don't question.
This is probably going to be the most I talk on this podcast.
Period.
Like honestly, because the old me, I was like over pleasing people so much. Like now, like I'm a God pleaser. Like
amen.
I want to please Him. Like I get convicted so much when I do certain stuff. I'm like, oh my God, like this is crazy. But like that's who I am now. That is the Melanie. Like, you know, that's who I am.
I'm so happy and proud of you, and it takes a lot to come out of those dark spaces, and I know, because I've been there too. Yeah. And sometimes when they don't see your growth, fuck them.
Yeah.
It's just that simple. Fuck them, you know, because you're doing amazing. And like I said, you're a pillar for our community.
Thank you so much.
Even like the tour drive that she did, like it was so. When I seen it, I was like, wow. I was like, that was just so beautiful and thoughtful for her to do.
Thank you so much for your donation.
Of course.
Thank you so much.
Nah.
Why? I'm just, my bad. She's like, don't do that.
Don't do that. No, it's about you. But
so what?
No, I'm trying to give you your flowers, because I feel like I have not seen people doing stuff like that, and I feel like that was just, it was really beautiful for me to see. I just thought it was so thoughtful, and it was during the time where like people didn't think they was gonna get food stamps for a while. Yeah. Everybody was very stressed and emotional, and you just showed everybody what your true purpose is, and that is you want to bring unity and help everybody in the community. And honestly, I love it. It was admirable.
Like I said, I'm a single mom, so I know how it feels during Christmas time. I grieve during Christmas time. I gotta do it by myself sometimes. Sometimes it's annoying. Sometimes I be trying to figure out, like, am I picking this or am I picking this? Like, am I gonna have enough money for my family members, or like, should I prioritize my kids? And this year I was like, you know what? Like, these kids get stuff all year. Like, y'all got repeat electronics. Like, y'all don't go without food. Like, y'all not going without shoes. Like, we got so much stuff. Like, y'all clothes can't even fit nowhere. Like, you know, like, let me pour back into another mom. Like, you know, another family. Like, another set of kids where their dad may be incarcerated. My kids' parents are incarcerated. So, again, like, I don't have that other backup support. Like, and I know what it is. Even, I'm a fashion designer. Yeah, I'm a CEO. Yeah, like, but everything ain't easy, you know? Like, I'm still grassroots. Like, you know, like, I'm not, you don't see me all over billboards and stuff like that. Like, you will see me all over
very soon.
But, you know, but at the end of the day, I know what it is to still struggle, you know? And I like to be honest about that. So this year I said to myself, and I told my kids, and my daughter loved it. She said, oh my God. I said, girl, we giving away toys.
I love
Girl,
that.
I gave away her dollhouse to my job. Like
Yes.
you got, like I have too much. Like, you know, like, cause it's like, why? And I can be giving it to somebody else that really, really needs it, you know? So that's what I really wanted to do. And I really wanted to show up for my community. I feel like I volunteer a lot. My mom has like a nonprofit. We do like yearly Thanksgiving meals. Like she gives away clothes to the homeless, and breakfast to the homeless. Good. I always volunteer for other people. And so this year I was like, you know what, Mel? Like, stop being my problem is I'm be so honest. Like sometimes I be afraid. Like, you know, like of just stepping out or whatever the case may be. Because again, like I don't have a team. Sometimes it's only like me and my friends or like, you know, people around me. But this year I was like, you know what? Like I want to do something different. Like I want to be a part of my community. Like not Melanie volunteering, but like Rebirth. Like, you know, I'm presenting this like from my brand. Like, you know, so that's why I did.
And that's dope. Yeah. And I'm so proud of you.
Thank
and
you.
I hope you do it more and more.
Yeah,
definitely. I'll be definitely supporting you.
Yes, thank you.
I want to get into the topic because it's very important, especially for the conversation we were already having. Sometimes the hardest part of growing isn't who you're becoming, it's who you used to be.
Yeah.
And even after you've changed, people cling on to the old versions of you because that's the only version they ever knew.
Yeah.
Learning to move on from your past self while others insist on reminding you of it is a quiet, complicated kind of strength. So that's really what I want to get into when I talk about when your growth makes others uncomfortable. Because I feel like that is the main reason why it takes us a while. We get in that transition phase of growth where we don't know if we really truly want to grow because we're afraid if we're going to be accepted as as that new self. Have our past decisions made it to the point where they can't see anything new? You know, so that's really when I want to get into. And the first thing I wanted to ask you was, what parts of your past self do you feel you've outgrown the most?
I think I just said it, but
the smoking.
Honestly, I'm gonna be so honest. Well, the drinking. Right now, I don't consider myself a drinker no more. Will I taste the wine? Yeah, but I know I'm not a drinker no more because I can't. I love wine. I'm a wino, honey. I pour bottles of wine out now, and it's crazy because I was like, Melanie, like you changed, girl. You changed. You know, like oh my god. But the version of me that really wanted to be like in like all the parties or like wanting to be a part of every crowd, I'm learning like that's not a space for me no more because I'm not doing what everybody else is doing. And I kind of heard this the other day and I've been trying to figure out how to put it in the right words. And somebody said it on another podcast, but I feel like I'm killing a witness for people that are watching me and just saying like, okay, like this is what she's doing. But then I'm out running around crazy doing other stuff. So it may be, sometimes it's hard for me too, because I'm like, dang, like I really want to, you know, but I'm like this is what you promoting, like, you know, like this is what, like the journey that you want. And for myself, I'm like, okay, like maybe they won't understand, but I'm like, that's okay. Like even for like joining the church, my church choir, like some people, they can't believe when they be like, where you at? I'm like, I'm at choir rehearsal. They be like, what? I'm like, I'm at choir rehearsal. They like, what? I'm like, I'm at choir rehearsal, but like, they don't understand. Mama, that you don't believe me? Yeah, like what do you mean? Like, do you want to FaceTime me? Like,
they said,
like,
nah, right.
I'm at choir rehearsal.
They said, nah, right.
Like you at choir?
Girl, you ain't at no damn choir.
Yes,
you could have just said I couldn't help you, girl. You could just say I don't want to talk to you.
Like, but you know, so I feel like that outside version of me, like, you know, I feel like that's the old part of me that I really left behind. My outside right now is like, you know, probably going to like probably a quiet bar, and I probably won't even drink. Like I'll be reading my book, like I have my laptop, or like just the aesthetic, or like a mocktail or something like that. Like I want to get more into like concerts. Like I want to do more creative things, like hands-on and stuff like that. Like I left behind like trying to be on every scene. Honestly, because I really felt like I missed out on a lot growing up because I wasn't able to do so much. So it makes you want to rush in to try to go do everything because social media and people are putting
like, missed out on life.
Yeah. But now I'm just like, okay, like that's cool. Like I'm leaving that behind. Like that's not a part of me no more, you know? And like that's okay. Like people may not understand that, but it is okay.
It's definitely okay. Yeah. Like we said earlier, it's okay for people not to understand you. It's not for everybody to understand. And those who understand you, that's how you know you're aligned.
Yeah, definitely.
How do you know when you've truly changed versus just wanting to change? And that's something I had to realize, because first of all, I'm gonna spark my split for that one, because that is really a jab at me, because it was a lot of times in my life where I was like, you're changing, you're growing, and it's like, were you really changing? Were you really growing? Or were you just telling yourself that you're changing, you're growing, but your actions, your habits, none of that is really changing? So how do you know that? How did you register that?
That's funny because I know I haven't changed or change how I handle situations differently when I react the same way.
Oh,
because I know me. Anybody that know me, baby, listen, honey, sometimes I don't even think. And I'll just automatically, my mouth. And I was just, before we got on, like, sometimes my mouth will get me into some things.
Yes.
Like, I'm not gonna lie, like, I could defend myself. Like, I'm not about to be out roll around the ground or whatever. But, like, I know I'm a bold speaker. Like, and some people may not know that about me.
She said, I don't know. I be doing a lot.
Like, sometimes I say things boldly or sometimes I come off strong.
But see, I really don't even take that personal.
I don't.
Because I
don't.
No, but I used to, no, but I.
Not no more. No, that's
but,
who I am.
But I feel like I'm the same way. And I used to really, like, make myself feel like bad about it, like who my personality being is, because like you said, you're bold, like you just say things that maybe
nobody,
the other person will say. They all are thinking it, but nobody will say it.
At the
and we would just will say it.
Always like, Mel, raise your hand.
And they take it as disrespect, but it's like I'm the honest one.
Don't get me in trouble.
No, my thing is you be the honest one in the room, and then when you honest, they look at you like you're being wrong for being honest. But then when nobody be honest, you look like, why nobody being honest? I'm just trying to be honest. So I feel like that is low key our strength.
Yeah, but I think for me, when I react the same way that my old self, where I'd be like, I don't want somebody to take me back to that way, the way I react. Once I snap, I'm like, hold on. Hold on. Honestly, I ain't even gonna lie to you. Like, no exaggeration. Like, I'd be like, God, like, hold on. Like, I just let them take me back. Like, give me a second. Like, help me detour, because I'm like, I just reacted the same way. Like, this shouldn't have triggered me in that space to where, like, I reacted like that. So, in certain situations, I'm like, okay, like, maybe you are still childish, or maybe this does still bother you. Maybe you have to figure out, like, why is that still bothering you? Why does that make you uncomfortable? So, like, when I react the way my old self would to new situations, that's how I know I haven't changed in that scenario or in that situation.
I agree. Sometimes we be like, yeah, I'm good, but you think you good because you haven't been you haven't get put right into the same situation. What?
Honey, that was just me the other day.
Oh,
that's
why I know.
No, that's why
you kept looking up. I got scared.
Oh my
God!
Because somebody just said that to me the other day. You know what situation I'm talking about? Somebody was like, Mel, you are not okay. You keep saying you okay, but because I already reacted, and I had to catch myself, and I said, God, why did I just do that? And I'm like, OMG. But I'm like, okay, like now, like after I calm down, I'm like, nope, like you gotta handle this differently. Like I'm like, I'm okay, but I'm like, now you gotta check yourself and be like, okay, like how can you handle this again? Because next time, like you may not, like you may not get that.
Like you caught it too late.
Yeah, I did. I definitely caught it too late.
But I feel like sometimes you also have to give yourself props for for even recognizing when you fuck up. Cause like think about it. Back in the day when I was super in my angry like little girl phase, I would do it and not even realize I was wrong.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm not wrong. You should never did that. And I would never talk to you like that.
Yeah.
Or you should never, and it's like, whole time, you still wrong. Like, you know what I'm saying? But it's like, I couldn't recognize when I was wrong. So even recognizing that you're wrong, or like even after fact, being able to reflect on a situation is a big growth step too. Yeah. Because I don't know about you, but I sucked at self-reflected. I wasn't looking inward, bitch. It was you.
Yeah,
it's your fault. It's you.
Get
away from me. Yeah. Get away.
I'm not even going. I'm not going to sit here and say I was perfect with self-reflection. I feel like it's the way a certain person delivers it to you too, because you can't so in certain spaces, like you can't forgive me and still beat me down at the same time. Or you can't tell me that, like, we got past something, but you still belittling me for it. Because it's like, now you making me, like, now you make it, like, now I feel like, okay, like, because it's like, okay, like, have we really got past this? Or, like, do you, like, so certain things I had to really understand that for myself. Because honestly, no, I'm stubborn. Like, it takes me a while to be like, okay, like, girl, like, it was you, Mel. Like, it's okay, girl. Go sit down in the corner and, like, say it was you, like, but... and in all honesty, I think that's what came with my growth too, of like really growing up. Like I had to be like, okay, Mel, like you done flipped your lid on them. Like it's okay. Or like maybe your approach could have been different, but like I feel like it's all a learning experience in any aspect, of your life.
As you get older, you realize how much your interactions really like influence where your life goes because you never know. Like your connections are really the first thing that gets you in the door. Like you could not have the criteria, the resume, but if you have that connection, that can get you that relationship right there can get you right in the door.
First impressions are everything.
But you don't know that when you're young. You just think I'm me and they're them, and that's just what it is. But no, people are allowed to say, I don't want her around because of how she acts. I don't want her around because I can't come to her about things. I can't give her constructive criticism. I can't, and I learned that about myself. Like, if you want to grow in your life, if you want to do things, you have to learn that everybody's perspective is different. Yeah. And sometimes people don't know that they're messing up, and you have to be aware of how you come off. Yeah. And that's a big thing for me. So I definitely agree with everything you just said.
Totally.
What boundaries have you set or want to set to protect your growth?
Ooh. So boundaries for me right now look like not oversharing, not overextending myself to people that aren't fully pouring into me and what I have going on.
Girl, preach.
Because I could be all over the place and I could still try to come help you in 50 million ways. And I don't know how, because I'm not an octopus and I only got 2 hands and I always try to do so much.
But I always am able to show up for you.
Yeah,
it's kind of scary, huh?
Yeah, and very. It's so strange, right?
Because I ain't seen this, you in a month, boo.
There we go. So, and honestly, for me with boundaries, sometimes I have to learn that it's okay to set boundaries too. Because sometimes I be feeling like, okay, or like, I need to have all of this, or like these people need to. No, like it's okay. Like, but like right now, boundaries is definitely oversharing and like not overextending myself and like not pouring in too much into people, because I noticed that like I pour, and then I be so depleted. And then and I'm not saying this is for everybody in my circle, but those people that I do pour into, that I expect or think to pour into me, honey, I can't even pick up the phone and call them. Or when I text them, it's not the same. Like, like they're dumping everything on me, but when it's time to dump, it's like, girl,
it's like that distant
what you
energy.
Mean? You're like, bro, did you forget that you just dumped 50 million things on me? But okay, that's cool. I'll be overly emotional. So like, and even like, that's another boundary for me too. Like really like balancing my emotions and seeing like who can really deal with me to that capacity and who can't. Because that's okay. Like I'm happy with who I am. Like, and I had to understand like that's really like it's one of my strong suits. Like that's my strength, and I can't overly be like that with everybody, because everybody doesn't have that capacity for me. Yeah, and that's okay.
I agree with the first thing you said for sure when you said just overly sharing. Yeah, I used to be an overshare, especially with people, even people that you love, because a lot of times you have to really work on something first before you would share it with people, because I think the energy is real. And sometimes you love people and they might not love you back and you don't know that yet. Yeah. So I feel like it's best to like go to God with everything. Yes. Like go to God with everything before you go to anybody. Yeah. And I feel like keep it personal until you can't keep it personal no more. Like, especially when it comes to something you really, really want, because I just learned how many times that I've hindered my own growth because I've been told, let somebody in on what I had going on or what I had planned, and then they jumped in and intercepted it. So it's like, you really have to be careful. The devil is sneaky, bro. The devil is sneaky as hell.
You know what the crazy thing is? He's not even sneaky. He's just busy. He don't mind where he pop up at. But he'll pop up when you got the best things going on.
That's what it be. Such good things, and that's why you have to have your discernment. You have to pray, and that's why I say go to God first, because He gonna let you know before you even get to open your mouth. You gonna feel it like like you gonna have that block in your throat. Why do I feel like this is tough for me to get out?
Honestly, I feel like you
trust those feelings.
You gotta trust your feelings. You gotta trust your intuition, and then again, it goes back to really knowing what your sound mind is. Because I had to really understand what your sound mind is. That's when you experience something already and you go through it, and God puts you through it. And it comes back up again, but you act like you did not go through it. Girl, baby, you're not using your sound mind.
You didn't learn through it, so you gotta keep putting you in that same situation.
I had to really learn how to really use. I'm like, girl, like, why do you want to keep going around the same mountain? You're gonna get the same result. Like, so like that's something else too. Like, I just be like, okay, like, like that's just what it is.
Is there anything that you haven't started yet that you want to start doing as far as boundaries?
Not answering my phone. Saying no. Especially when I want to say yes. And I'm done saying it's okay and it's not okay. That's my problem.
That is a big thing.
That's my favorite line.
It's fine.
That is my favorite line, honey. Ask the kids at my school, it's okay. No, it ain't. Sit down. Sometimes no, it ain't. Like
sometimes it's really not though. Sometimes, but that's a coping mechanism too. I learned. Like it's okay to try to get away from those like sad feelings. Like I noticed
it's not okay.
Especially being an empath, we feel a lot of our emotions all the time. So I feel like we feel it and then we like be like, okay, I don't want to show that I'm so hurt. So
Yeah,
I'm gonna
so
just say
it's okay.
It's all right. Never mind, girl.
But girl,
Move on.
You running around here.
Inside,
you
I'm like
bottled up about to break. I'm like, oh my God.
I'm on the inside, like, why would she say
But you know
that?
what's so crazy? I had to stop doing that all last week and this week because I swear to God, I was walking around busting out in tears at work, and I had to say, Melanie, like, girl, you gotta check yourself because as much as I'm trying to be okay, like, I gotta stop saying it's okay because, like, no, it's not.
Obviously, it's not.
Yeah, it's not. Feel what you feeling, get it out, go to him with it real quick, and then, like, just let it go. Because instead of walking around saying it's okay, like, you know, I'm okay. No, you're not. It's okay to not be okay.
Exactly.
And it's okay to not be okay with things that people are presenting you with. Like, you know, or it's okay to not be okay with things that people want you to be okay with. Like, what makes you think I would go for that? No, I don't think that this is okay and this is all right. And I had to learn that for myself. I be staying around too long in certain situations saying it's okay. No, it's not. Nope.
You said that you no longer feel shame or anything for your past, and that's so good. How can you rewrite your story though in a way that honors where you've been but doesn't trap you there?
In all honesty, probably just having my son a little bit older. Just because I feel like there was it's even still right now, like I feel like there's so much I owe him because he's been through so much with me. And probably if I would have had him a little bit older, I would have been more like seasoned and experienced because he learned so much with me. We grew so much together. Like he'll be 15 in May and I'm gonna be 30. Like it's half and half. Like, you know, I was 15. So it's like he grew up with me. So it's one of those things where it's like maybe if I had more time at the time to understand what was going on around me and to understand like motherhood and like not really feel like I was missing out and still chasing things while I'm being a mom, like, you know, because again, like it was some stuff like I'm 15, 16, 17, like my friends going out, like I want to go outside.
Right.
Like, are you crazy? Like, thank God for like my village, you know, like my son godmothers and things like that. Like I really had a amazing village when it came to my son, but it was certain stuff that at that time, like I just didn't understand why I couldn't do it. But after a while I had to say to myself, like, you made this decision, like, you know, like you chose to like be a mom, like, you know, at this age. So like you have to deal with it. Like it was even times where like I was chasing his dad so bad too. It was like I like missed out like on all girls school opportunities. Like I was be like an all girls boarding school for like middle school and stuff like that. Yeah, like just running around chasing all the wrong stuff, you know. But like, and I'm not saying like ultimately like I ended up in a bad space. Like every decision I made, like it molded me into the woman that I am right now. Like I am not ashamed of nothing that I've been through. Like somebody can probably say something about me. Like people tried to like expose me, things like that.
What?
Like you know, like that. You know, like you know, petty stuff. Like
It's
you know, like
misery,
friend
though.
driving. You know, like little things like that or whatever. Like just so to say, like nothing recent or anything, but like just in general. Like, but it's nothing that nobody can say about me or like say to me that will like make me feel ashamed, especially from my past. Cause like I done been there. I grew through that. Like I am not that person who I was no more. You may think that, but that's why like me and you are not one and two. Like me and you don't hang. Like me and you are not like together. We don't correlate. Like, cause you still living in my past, baby. I don't live there.
Girl, move on.
Like, yeah, like exactly. Like anybody, like, you know, that goes for friends, family, anybody do that. Like, you know, like I don't live there no more. Like I'm not that person, you know? So like, that's what I try to do.
That's good. That's good. And I feel like that resonate with a lot of moms. Cause even my mom, like she talks about how my oldest brother, he's her first child and she had him very young. And she says all the time, like, I wish that I knew what I knew now because I feel like I maybe put him through so much that he didn't need to go through because I did not know. I was so young.
There we go.
And so naive and so really ignorant. I didn't know anything. So I don't know how to treat a child. I don't know how to raise a boy. I don't know how to raise a kid at all. So I feel like that's something a lot of mothers struggle with their firstborns is and their young children is just, I mean their oldest children is just struggling with the thought of what I could have done and all that. But you have to just be aware that, like you said, everything that you've been through makes you who you are now.
And I feel like
now you can just pour that into your future.
It's like a sensitive topic sometimes because people feel like they can't express their low feelings about how they feel about being a parent or how they feel about like their child.
That makes
he just made me
a
upset.
bad mom.
Yeah, like I remember like recently, I think it was last year, some girl went viral because she was like, oh my God, I can't stand being a mom. How many people y'all say that all day? She just typed it. They asked what's on her mind. Why are we dragging her because she's expressing how she feels?
I feel like people don't understand how much mental health is a big thing.
Yes. So
and I feel like sometimes people don't mean what they say.
Yeah.
And sometimes you have to give people grace. Right. And even if you don't agree with something being said, you don't
I feel like as a
bash
mom,
people.
I understood everything she said.
But I feel like even if you don't, it doesn't give you the right to bash people and to belittle people because you're not in her shoes.
Yeah, there
and
you
don't
go.
know what she goes through every day. So at the end of the day, I'm not a mom, so I can't speak to that. I can't speak if I would ever say something like that. Okay, so last question I want to ask you, because we've been doing so good, but it's time to wrap it up because we could do this all day.
Yeah,
we could do this all day.
I could do it all day.
But what would you tell the woman who's standing at the edge of her next chapter but is scared to step into it?
Just go for it. There is no perfect moment. And do not wait on anybody. Nobody is going to see your vision like you see it. Nobody is going to see your dreams. Nobody is going to be more focused and, like you said it earlier, delusional about what you have going on into your next chapter. It may be scary because sometimes you may not even know what your next chapter is. Because I feel like a lot of people, like even myself, like sometimes I get in moments where I'm like, I don't know what's next for me. But that's because I be doing so much and I be feeling like, okay, like I have to do something else. Like I'm never satisfied because I feel like I be hitting so many marks sometimes low key. But then again, I be like, okay, like what's next? But it's okay if you don't know what's next too. Like that's something else I want to say too. Like don't beat yourself up and like if you feel like you came to a standpoint in your life where like you're still and it's quiet, like that is what he wants from you right now. Like, you know, whoever your God is, you know, because I don't know, everybody is like different. But that is what is meant for you at the moment. Because at the end of the day, sometimes we try to rush. And for me, like I'm in a space where like, in my next chapter, like I'm taking everything slow. Like I'm trying to be like more quiet. Like I'm trying to like just really like accept what's right in front of me. Like I'm not even chasing past it. Like if this is the obstacle or my assignment right now, like that's it. Like I'm not disregarding it. Yeah. So for the woman that's like, you know, standing right there, like at her next chapter, like just go for it. Like nothing is going to be perfect. Like at the end of the day, nobody is going to like see your vision or see your dreams like you. So I feel like when you wait around for a perfect moment, like you're like time is passing you by. Like that degree is going to be 3 year long, whether you go and get it 30 or 35. Like, you know, like it's going to take you 10 good years to really make your name in the fashion industry, whether you start 2026 or 2027, like, you know, like, and this year I'm gonna be 7 years in, like, and honestly time flew and I'm like, dang, I'm about to hit a decade. Like we got to get this rolling, and that's the next chapter for me, you know. So I love that. Definitely
I love that. Great advice. And I would say just like she said, don't sometimes just, if you look back, sometimes we get stuck into like the future, but sometimes if you look back, you can realize you've accomplished a lot.
So much.
And you don't realize how much you've accomplished because you're so much looking forward to the next thing. So sometimes don't be afraid to look back and look at all that you've accomplished, because I'd be having to do that sometimes too. Like, damn, the podcast's not where I wanted it to be, but look at where it was at last year. Yeah. You know? So
definitely.
One thing I wanted to share with you guys was a quote by Helen Keller. It's, character cannot be developed in ease and quiet. Wow. So just know that just because it's hard for you right now does not mean that you're not being shaped into who you're going to be and with the person that's going to help you thrive into whatever you want to do. So don't be scared of the hard seasons.
Definitely.
I want to get into my watched and read segment. I love to ask my guests what you watched and what you read this week.
Okay.
If you wanted to share it with the audience, anything, any books or anything you've read or watched.
So right now, as far as watching, probably I'm a Force person. Power. I've been watching Force. Love that. I watch a lot of podcasts. I'm not really into like TV right now. Okay. I've been listening to like a lot of podcasts, like IRL with Angie Martinez.
Oh yes, yes.
I'm into Poor Minds. Like I do a lot of
Poor Minds is good too.
Pastor Mike Jr. I'm like really into him. What I'm reading right now, I'm trying to get out of the Mel Robbins book, Let Them, because I've been really reading it like in spurts, like taking it for what it is, like and really trying to like apply it to what I have going
like a tool.
on in my life. I'm not reading nothing else besides that, because I'm trying to get deeper back into my Bible, because I downloaded it on my phone recently and I've been on my phone.
Your Bible?
Okay, period. Yeah, but now I've been like, for the past couple of days, like I'm back just like in the physical book, just because like I feel like everything, like the phone, it gets so draining sometimes, all the scrolling. I'm reading Let Them by Mel Robbins. If you guys have not read that book, please go read it. It is an amazing tool. It has taught me so much
good things.
It's let them and then let me. She teaches you that. Like you let them and then, you know, let me. What that next step is, what are you going to do with what is presented? Like, you know, right in front of you. And I think I've been like really reading it slow just because like, again, I'm trying to apply it to everything that's going on. Yeah.
That's great. That's great. Yeah. I'm not really big on TV right now either. I be working and then getting my sleep in. So, you know, I don't be having time, but yeah, I'm still reading, y'all. Self-reflection of the week is also something I like to get
Yeah.
into because I'm big on looking inwards and healing and just speaking on the things that we go through every day. So a time this week in which your past self showed up and why.
OMG. It's like God is like, you know what? You're a funny character, but it's okay. It's okay.
I love to get into it. I love to get into
it. It's so funny. My past self showed up this week. I can't really speak so much about it because I know this is going to air, but I can talk about it like in increments. I got into a situation with somebody that I was associated with in the environment where my past self shouldn't have showed up. But it was just the way like she was like speaking on my character and things like that. It kind of made me question like the bond that I thought me and this person had. So like I was saying earlier, sometimes my mouth, it will cut you like a double-edged sword, like, you know, like, cause I get crafty with my words. I could say some stuff, honey, you will want to come see me. And it's okay because baby, like very intellectual. I know how to hurt you in a real good way.
I could go both ways.
Yeah, go both ways. Like I could do it ghetto and I could do it intellectual. But you know, my past self showed up earlier this week where I kind of got tested where I probably could have walked away and not reacted. And instead I reacted. And then like you said earlier, it took a lot for me to be like, wow, like Mel, like dang, like you really messed up. Like bump whatever else was going on with you on outside of the situation, like for yourself and like where you been like as a person. Like I let her get me out of my character. And for myself, I just had to say like, wow, okay, like that was the old you. Like they don't even know this type of person. Like, and I had them looking at me crazy. Yeah. And I'm like, dang, like I just showed them who I used to be. Like they don't even know
like
who
I proved her
right
point.
Now.
Like,
Yep.
Whole time she wrong as fuck.
Yeah, right,
like,
exactly.
Yeah, like bitch, you wrong. Like,
you know,
but I had to tell you was wrong.
Yeah,
like, bitch, you wrong.
You know. But at the end of the day, I'm a woman. At the end of the day, and I'm a big girl. I like to say like, you know, like, and I like to take accountability now for sure. I've been trying to do that. So like I know for myself, like I was very convicted after it. So I just basically like, you know, like I self-reflected and I'm just like, okay, like, well, next time, like, you know, honey, as much as it's gonna hurt you, just turn around. Like, you know, it's okay because my mouth be getting me into stuff. Like, don't respond because at the end of the day, there's a time and place for everything.
Exactly.
And I'm learning that like as a business owner, like as a professional, and even like as a mom, like it's just certain things that I wouldn't do in front of my kids, or like I wouldn't do if I'm like at work, or I wouldn't do if I'm like handling business on the set or something. So like this week that my past self showed up in that situation.
That is real. I do it too. I have those moments too. Yeah. Well, thank you guys again for tuning in for this episode. I want to thank you again, Ra, for coming and for sharing your perspective and being vulnerable and honest and real. So transparent, and I appreciate this conversation. This is what I do this for. Like, I love to connect with people. Definitely. And I love that I got to feel your energy in person finally after following you for so long. I will continue to support you.
Thank you.
She did bring some merch, so it is. I can't wait to see it and see how it looks. But just make sure you guys support her and look at all the things she has going on, because she does have a really big voice, and I feel like a lot of people don't get to see her because maybe you guys are just under a rock. But I've been seeing her for about a year, no, for real. I haven't seen you for about a year or two now, and I really resonate with your content, and it's something that a lot of us need to hear sometimes. Sometimes it's something I need to hear. I wake up and she already got a video posted, and I'm like, period. Like, it even motivates me sometimes to get back on my content. So I appreciate you and what you do for this community, and I hope you continue.
Thank you.
So
I
thank you guys again. Make sure you guys like, comment below your favorite part of this episode, and make sure you guys keep giving love. And we'll see you next time on the next episode.